Hi everyone, this is AlphaAli. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing okay. So today I'm actually doing a brand new Mercy VOD review. This is actually for Kinzo. Kinzo is a lovely member of my community that basically pops in like every now and again. They are really, really lovely. And we've got a Mercy VOD of theirs today. We have the Hangzhou Spark away skin on, the Overwatch 2 one. I love the colours on this. I think they're so, so cute. And yeah, they're just adorable. And this is a Plat 2 VOD. And they haven't really wrote anything else about it, so I guess we'll just head into it and just kind of see what's going to be happening. Once again, you can get your own VOD views, the over 5,000 channel points on my Twitch. I do them on Mondays, but I also stream on Wednesdays, Fridays and Saturdays too. So you can obviously drop down, come and say hello to my lovely community that I have over there. Or you can just come over and just lurk, you know. Lurkers are always like very, very welcome in my chat. And just save up the 5,000 channel points and then get your own VODs on Mondays, basically. So looking at the team comp that we have before we start off, we have ourselves a Zarya, a Genji, a Soldier, and also an Ana. All of these people, amazing damage boost targets, alright? You can do, obviously, like, damage boost again, use, like, dashes, or, like, if he goes up to go and, like, contest someone, when, obviously, your soldier's, like, being a bit more passive. You can also damage boost Zarya. Zarya works really, really well to damage boost whenever they have something like the Sigma or, like, D.Va, for example, where they'll put up, like, the defense matrix or the, like, vortexy thing. I don't know what it's called for Sigma, but, like, it's, like, vortexy thing. Zarya's beam actually just pummels through that. So you can flick your damage boost onto there. And obviously, Ana, if she sleeps someone, or, you know, if she's got a better angle than some of your DPS, also really, really good to damage boost. So yeah, so we got the cute little Valkyrie weapon charm on as well, which is really, really cute. So hopping in there, already nice that you're healing up your Ana. Straight onto your soldier's blue beam. My only thing is I would not cross over like this. Like how you just done, like with this kind of cross. Essentially, you want to kind of just play around this like bus side and stuff, and if you can, GA over to where your Genji is and then just play really up against this wall. The reason is because you GAing over and then playing like around this car, unless if you're like crouched down, you can still take damage from like all of these guys, and Sigma can literally like see you like directly here, okay? This, I don't mind if they put this car here because it literally provides like no like cover whatsoever. If you want to use cover around this side, then you have to play really far back and play like around here, or you have to play literally like directly underneath them, which can be a little bit dangerous. So I always recommend playing around this far side if you want to play, alright? But it's fine. Obviously seeing the soldiers going over, I would just do a slingshot there. That's how we're following through. Okay, let me just quickly just kind of show you what I meant over here. You do this like kind of like GA and like stop here. You never ever want to GA just so you're like fully in this choke way, right? You essentially either want to GA and just like kind of cancel it here, or you either want to GA and then jump and slingshot over to this side, just so you're fully like out of cover, basically. It's out like away, like in cover. Is basically what I'm meaning. Love this damage on your soldier though, really, really nice. Genji dashes in, that's fine. Ooh, okay, we end up being sucked off by the Moira behind us, I think, which is fine. Let's just quickly rewind it to see whether we could do anything against that. So obviously we already talked about playing around that cover. Really nice around here. See, right, if we slingshotted ourselves all the way over, we wouldn't have to deal with this Moira. And yeah, we just don't end up getting away from her, so if we kind of like slingshotted around that side, what you could do is then you could essentially like, when you come, you can basically come up and then you can actually jump over like onto this bridge, and then you can help people on this bridge. It'll then help block the LOS of the Moira, and then you can also like use this as cover as well. But it's fine, all good. Now we're back with our soldier again. Loving the use of cover with this bus, really, really nice. Lovely healing of him. Really, really nice. Lovely rotation. That could just be like just a GA cancel there though, just so you can get your GA back on cooldown like a lot easier. Unfortunate on that soldier. You could definitely go in. Okay, you can't anymore. If you managed to get in like really, really quickly and be able to go and res it, you could have definitely gone in for a res. If you want to cross this choke, by the way, be sure that using GA is across, because a lot of the time you're, you're just hanging about like in this open bit, right? You either want to be on this side, or you want to be on this side and just be like jiggle peeking it like this, basically. You never ever want to just be stood out here, okay? So you just either play on this side and damage boost, or play on the other side and damage boost, okay? So I love the damage boost on the Zarya here, trying to work down the Ryan shield, really, really nice. You don't need to J forward there, you could just walk forward. But nice heals on the Zarya, lovely damage boost again. Now you want to switch to your soldier or someone else in a second. Lovely damage boost still. Now you want to switch to soldier. Okay, I'm loving this blue beam on this Zarya, but there's like when your soldier goes to peak, he should actually be your priority to go and damage boost. The reason is because all this Zarya is going to be doing is she's just going to be focusing this Rhine shield, like when she's here. Like she physically cannot do anything else compared to your soldier who can actually shoot these people up into these high grounds properly, and you can also help him go up and rotate as he's doing right now. All right, he can essentially just kind of get around like these little parts of the Rhine shield that doesn't cover, maybe like get up onto this high ground and damage boost some of these guys. Don't get me wrong, like I love the damage boost on the Zarya. I love how much you're using that damage boost. Just try whenever your soldier comes, you damage boost him. That's on your Genji. Anyways, love this rotation right now. Okay, I love your damage boost and I love your flank with your soldier here. But you never ever want to just be walking through like this, alright? Loving the damage boost though, but just basically, once again, hug this wall like this, and then once he kind of progresses forward a little bit more, come out here and then hug this wall again like this. You never just want to be kind of stood out in the open, because that Hanzo staring at you, and you know how stupid Hanzo is, and he could just like, instantly get a headshot on you. You can basically just try and avoid that by just playing this cover a little bit more, playing around here. But loving your use of damage boost though, it's really, really great. Loving how you're using that cover now as well. Really, really nice. You can rotate onto point now. Lovely. I would have maybe just hopped in just to put the damage boost onto the Zarya there, just to kind of finish off the Rhine a little bit more. But apart from that, really, really great so far. Really good positioning and like, what's it called? Like position yourself like to be like with your soldier is basically what I mean. Very nice. Really nice damage boost. Leave your healing for your Honor here, because you see how your Honor doesn't have ultimate. Just what's it called? Essentially just allow your Honor to heal up these little bits as she's coming out. You can just sit there and damage boost. And now you should be trying to find your soldier. We need to be with soldier here. Where is your soldier? Okay, your soldier's rotated up, okay? Because what's going to happen is essentially this payload moves by itself all the way up until like around here. So you can literally just sit up on this high ground and help your soldier. Your Honor should basically try and like go and help your your Honor should be able to like help your Zarya here, and obviously you can kind of drop down if you so desperately need to. But your job right at this moment is to help the soldier, because look, this soldier, if he gets a damage boosted Helix rocket onto the soldier, he's gone. He's like capiche, gone, you know, kind of thing. So essentially, it's fine obviously helping her here, like while your soldier's like not being active and stuff. But once he gets that high ground positioning, then you basically want to kind of peel up and go back to him. All right. Once again, loving this damage boost though, really, really great. But I feel as though we're really just neglecting the rest of our team right now. Love the GA, that's what we should be doing a lot, like just using our GA to cross cover. Really nice. If you want to cross this cover, by the way, I'd highly recommend doing a GA and then doing it to hug this pink wall. The reason is because on this part of the bridge, some of these like ceiling like roof things can still see you, and also if someone is stood up on this pink building, they can also still like shoot you down, compared to if you're hugging this wall. So just kind of edit your slingshot to be that it comes from like about here-ish or something, and use it so you like use slingshot and then stop here and then wait for like your soldiers to rotate some more and then carry on going up with him. Okay, just to kind of just say so he's like staying out that LOS like as much as we can. Love how we're going with him though. Really, really nice. Really, really nice again. He's gonna have shatter soon, so obviously we need to like pay back. Lovely avoidance. Okay, I would have popped the back a little bit sooner. I'm gonna be honest. Let me just quickly go back. Because what I've seen is in this kind of like section here, you're playing very like face down into the ground. You can just tilt your camera angle up slightly like this. It just gives you a better kind of like view of like the team fight and stuff like that, what's going on, instead of just looking directly down at your team. Because by looking directly down at your team, you're only getting information like from your team. Compared to if you look up a little bit more, it means you can access these at high grounds and stuff. Because a lot of the time, like specifically, like, for example, the enemy team has like Hanzos, he also has soldiers, and soldiers can like do like helix rocket jumps like up onto these high grounds and stuff. You essentially just want to be like really, really careful. So just kind of like tilt that kind of camera angle up a little bit more. But I just want to watch it from this kind of third person point of view. So I love how you drop here. This is fine. Really nice cover. Lovely damage boost. A little bit of honor, that's fine. See the dragons, that's fine. Stick on the damage boost, okay? As soon as honor dies and those dragons and your team are going in, you basically want to use your Valk now. The reasoning is because if you are able to get one or two people down, like for example, say this Moira and you've already got the what's it called? the Hanzo down, it then means you can go back and use this cover to res your Ana really, really safely and then get back into this team fight, okay? So I would just pop that Valk a little bit sooner than what you have, just so you can really get into that team fight. Valka is so great to be able to avoid dragons like this, because you can just hover above like this basically. But we'll keep on going. We do end up popping it just a little bit late. Really nice. Push that damage boost. Just when we're in our Valks, don't try to be at the skybox. Okay. But this entire Valk, you were floating here. We're the enemy team, right? Because you have to try and think, where are the enemy team going to be pushing from? They're going to be on these high grounds up here, or they're going to be shooting through this window, or they're going to be shooting main. And you have basically a direct kind of counter to you while you're in your Valk right here. So whenever you Valk, I feel as though this Valk was a little bit too late, which obviously we discussed about. But then as soon as you pop this Valk, you still use your cover, still be around here, or I need to back off a little bit more. It's fine, you could just a little wall bounce around here and then play back here. You never ever just want to be absolutely out of the skybox up here, because this puts you out in so much vulnerability basically. So you just want to basically just kind of use these Valks around this cover instead, and just so you can play it safe. So we're ending our Valk right now. We end up getting crouched down. You can definitely res that. Lovely. Just drag that res a little bit more around the side so you don't end up taking that damage like you end up doing. Oh, okay. We messed up our GA here a little bit. Let's rewind it, because I want to see what you ended up doing. So we talked about the Valk. Right, this is fine. I love how you're waiting here. I would crouch here just so you make your hitbox a little bit smaller. This res, this is perfect, do not get me wrong, but I would have gone, as soon as your Genji is here, I would have gone a little bit sooner so you have your GA ready. Just be a little bit quicker and just get this res really behind this wall, because it stops you from taking that little damage from the Hanzo, alright? So we do the res, which is nice. Okay. What we should have done here, instead of doing this weird slingshot, I want you to start getting really used to either allowing your GAs just fully play out, or to cancel them, right? Because if you cancel your GA here, it means that you get the cooldown quicker, and then it means that you can then go and help follow up on this Genji if you'd like to. Obviously, it'd be really good if you do. I know he has the nano on it, but remember, damage boost and nano do stack, which basically means that he will do a lot more damage than just having the nano on, alright? Which, we don't end up basically falling upon this blade because of that. That's fine. Go back to come and damage boosting Ana. Just remember your soldier's still with you, because you've just rezzed him and stuff, so if you do need help. Oh, okay, we end up... okay. So, what ends up happening is essentially, we don't end up following up on this Genji, and I feel as though you panic. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't help this Genji. Doesn't matter, okay? He has a nano on him, so he should be able to still, do stuff. It isn't he desperately needs you. At this point now, you just have to think to yourself, okay, who's my next best damage boost target? Soldier. We've just res Soldier, so we know he's going to be nearby. So we could either check the high grounds, because sometimes they'll go up and rotate, or if they're going to be playing main, that's great. I love how you go up into this high ground, because this high ground's really, really great, but then we don't end up kind of using it. You kind of just end up jumping onto it and then falling in front. You never ever want to fall in front of these guys, because obviously we saw what ended up happening here. If you want to use this high ground, you have to essentially use crouch down and use this part. And just kind of sit here and just sit and damage boost your soldier from here, basically. But I feel as though after you kind of messed up your GA and then you didn't end up going with the Genji, I feel as though you kind of panics of it. But honestly, just kind of refresh yourself and think, okay, I made a mistake. I'm not going to be able to get to that Genji. What can I do now? I can go and help my next damage boost target, which is obviously my soldier. Alright? But that's fine. Just really unfortunate that we don't end up kind of staying up on the high ground there. And we'll go ahead. So we have ourselves a Pharah now, which basically means now our damage boost priority is going to be slightly different. Because before, I would say your main damage boost target is going to be your soldier. Now it's going to be your Pharah, because Pharah really struggles without, what's it called? See what I mean though about those people in the high grounds? You've essentially just flown out directly into his LOS. Okay, if you want to fly out, you fly out over into this corner, and then you wait for your Pharah to kind of up and push him like she has, and then you go and follow up on that with her, alright? Pharahs have so much like free reign around this point because there is so much like lovely high ground cover, like these signs, like you can literally like just be on top of like these roofs and stuff and just like spray down people, and you can just sit here and just glide on these roofs. It's so nice to play pharmacy on this one. So you just want to basically just like follow on her. You do not need to be main here because your Ana is completely fine helping your helping your Sigma, but you can literally help from another angle with this Pharah and help get this Rhine if you just want to get this Rhine, or she can go and like obviously focus like the hit scans and stuff like that. But the issue with her going to go and focus those hit scans is that she needs your help. Okay, but we'll keep going, see what happens. So I would be with your Pharah here. Be sure to tilt your thing up a little bit more. Nice res. Just be sure just to tilt your camera angle up a little bit more so you're able to see her. I would have done a super jump almost to the higher ground there, but that's fine. Really nice. Obviously, we see the Hanzo. Really nice. We need to play out of his LOS now. We're still playing his LOS, okay? It took him 4 shots. If that was a higher lobby, he would have got that in 1. Or like maybe 2, okay? What we need to do is we need to register he's there. We need to now correct our cover. Ideally, we should still be with our Pharah, so it means that essentially we just like kind of, we would already be like rotating with her before the Hanzo could even get to us, and then we can go and like help. But if you don't end up with her and you end up kind of being a bit, oh, I've got myself a little bit, you know, not in the right spot, just use this cover, this payload, and just crouch down behind it and follow it through up until you can like go back with your Pharah, basically. But keep on going. Nice, got it in. Really, really great. Don't want to be... I very rarely use that high ground on that side, by the way. It's like, honestly, like, I don't know, literally this high ground only really exists to rotate up onto here. If you're trying to attack, you are so vulnerable in this like high ground here where your Ana is, because if, say for instance, we're not pushed up as much as we are, obviously enemies have this angle, they also have this angle, and they also have, specifically like with Ashes, with like pockets and stuff like that, this angle. If you ever want cover on this point, always play on this side. Like, just play here, because they can't shoot through this like fencing, and the only way people can attack you is from behind, like this Moira is just casually flanking, you know. But essentially, the only place that you should really be playing here is basically this side here, and then wait for your Pharah to boost her jet. What's gonna happen? Your Pharah is gonna boost her jets up like this, and hopefully start spamming people that are gonna start rotating up into the high ground, or like start spamming people main. You essentially will just go follow her, do your GA cancel, and then essentially just kind of like glide around kind of this area. So it means that you're not taking the damage, because obviously you're not peeking with her, and she essentially can just be kind of like free reign picking, and then she might go in a little bit deeper, you follow, and it just kind of follows like a system like that, basically. That's fine. So see what I mean? She's doing exactly what I said. Obviously we do end up following her a little bit, just play that cover once again as much as you can. We do end up dropping it because obviously he ends up shooting us. You do not. Okay, let's just rewind this back a bit, okay? So essentially what's happened is you've done the exact right thing, like I said, following up with the Pharah, but she's gone a little bit deeper than obviously what I was saying. That means that essentially you just have to drop and just use your cover. If you just stay on the ground here, you could just damage from here. Instead, it takes you basically taking that shot before you think, oh my gosh, I have to use the cover, right? It's actually, you should essentially use that kind of knowledge of using your cover instead of taking the damage and then having to use the cover. Because what could happen is, instead of him hitting a body shot, he could hit a headshot on you, and then that will instantly die you, like, will instantly kill you, basically. And this push is going to be a lot harder for your team. So if you essentially just kind of GA yourself over and then drop, like, literally straight away, basically, and play this cover like this, it would have been so much, like, safer for you, basically. Now, the reason why I'm screaming at you for, like, going back to this Ana is because she is not in danger. You can literally still stay pushed up with your Pharah, like, right now. Like, you can still help, like, with her and just kind of play around here. The reason why you don't need to help Ana here is because she is so safe back here. She's not going to get hit by anyone, and she could just use her natural cover and just play back for a second and use her natural health regen. You do not, unless she's, like, absolutely, like, you know, she's in, like, direct LOS of, like, other people. You essentially never ever want to, like, be going to go back to go and peel for her there. You essentially just want to keep on pushing in with this Pharah. But keep on going, because you're probably going to end up going back to her, which is great. Same thing again, just use a cancel GA. Really unfortunate with the shatter. I feel so that should have hit you, like, really out of the way. Lovely. Res. Really nice damage boost. Now res. Ooh, okay. Made a resin bar, which is fine. Ooh, go on, go on, go on. Okay. You need to work on that aim a little bit. I want to rewind that back, just kind of talk about this team fight again. Okay, so flux goes up. As soon as that flux goes up, you want to res. Right? The reason is because what's going to happen is these are all stuck in this flux and the soldier's going to start visoring them like this. This should hopefully get a minimum of like 1 pick basically. But then as soon as they come down, they'll want to hide in cover. This gives you a really, really lovely opportunity once you've done that initial like lift up damage boost on to the Sigma. Because the Sigmas all works really weirdly, if in case people don't know. You can only damage boost the lift up. You can't actually damage boost the lift down. You can damage boost any kind of like orbs and stuff he hits to people like with like in the grab, but basically you can only like damage boost the lift up, and you can damage boost obviously damage, but you can't damage boost the lift down. So essentially, if you want to damage boost a Sigma Flux, you basically have to damage boost him like as he's lifting him up, and then just leave him at that point. Normally is what I do. So this, with all this kind of zoning pressure, this gives you a perfect opportunity for you just to instantly res. Okay, this basically should just be an instant res basically. We end up damage boosting Visor, which is really, really great. As soon as this nanoed Ryan starts swinging onto him, you had to think to yourself, I cannot save this this soldier. Like, it's like, I do not know how you can, what's it called? Like, you cannot save the soldier. Like, no matter how much healing your honor and your yourself are going to do into the soldier, because he's nanoed and swinging onto this soldier, he ain't gonna live. So you can, once again, this still gives you an opportunity to switch your beam to someone else, or say if you've got your Farah, it allows your Farah to then go up and challenge this Hanzo, okay? But, so we end up keeping beam on. We go for the res now, which we shouldn't have done. We should have instead actually helped maybe try and keep up the Sigma. But yeah. And we do end up kind of super jumping upwards. This aim is a little bit off, I'm not gonna lie, but we do end up getting out, which is fine. Obviously, Honor ends up dying too. Get out, which is fine. But Farah still wants to apply that pressure, so be sure you're still... Oh, okay. Another mess up GA. It can be really hard to read Farah sometimes, I will be very honest. But what's it called? We need to kind of, what's it called? I'm going to make a full video. I keep on saying this every single time I do VODs. I'm always like, I'm going to do a video on like pocketing Farahs and stuff. Because I feel as though that's like the thing everyone like really struggles with. Do you understand what I mean about this high ground, by the way, as well? Like, if you want to use it, you have to put it really far back. It's fine, obviously, you using it just then, but then as soon as your soldier starts to push in some more, I'd peel over this way, or even better, your Farah just got nanoed, wherever she is. Yeah, your Farah just got nanoed. You can basically wait for her to cross over this barrier, and then put a damage boost on her, and she's gonna, like, go into these people, basically. So it would be better if you're, like, with your Farah right now. Exactly what I mean. Like, you're basically stood directly in the LOS of the Hanzo, and you can avoid that by essentially playing over at the other side and helping your Farah. But it's fine. We have ourselves a Valk now, which is great. I think people just end up staggering, so that's fine. If we get Sigma out, that's going to be great. Lovely Jane into cover, really, really nice. But we step out into the fire strike. Just be sure there is absolutely no need for you to come and res this Moira here, okay? Because what's going to happen is obviously your Ashe is still respawning, so you're not going to get a full like team fight here. There is absolutely no need for you to come in, especially with how damaged the Sigma shield is. You're not going to get this res all, so there's just no need. You essentially, plus as well, she has her like fade and stuff, so she can get like out here like a lot quicker and stuff like that. You do not need to res her here like whatsoever. You instead should essentially just be waiting, like kind of basically, I would have, as you're coming out of spawn, I would essentially just kind of GA'd over here, helped heal up your Sigma, and then just kind of wait. Obviously, you can like damage boost his like spam damage and stuff here, and then once your Farah wants to go in, then you go in with her. But there's no need for you to res here because you're still waiting for people to come back. So I'm gonna end up watching what you end up doing because it looks like you're going for that res. You end up like backing off, which is nice. I love how you made that decision. Just same thing again. You should be with your Farah here instead of with your tank. Nice heals though. I would still be going with your Farah here. I don't. What's your Moira doing? Oh, your Moira faded in. Okay. Honestly, in this kind of in this scenario, I would have essentially just followed around with your Farah, because your Farah your Farah has actually just used barrage, but I thought that she had it, but still doesn't matter. Okay, Because what's going to happen is you applying this really nice damage boost pressure is going to provide a really nice pressured off angle and really pressure this team out. Because you sitting main here, especially with this Ryan still available, is essentially, this Ryan's just going to hold his shield like this. And unless if someone peeks from up here, which they're not going to because they're currently like regenning and stuff like that, you essentially are going to do nothing damage in the dash here. It's so much better if you can take this off angle with your Pharah. Plus fact as well, if the soldier starts to then focus the Pharah, she has no kind of like help or support because you're stood main with everyone else when you don't need to. So you can literally just come round and just play with your Pharah. But we'll keep going. So you end up healing Moira, which is fine. Go for your... Okay. We get a little bit lost again. If you want to, because obviously we just saw your Ashe coach going upwards, look upwards again, okay? Look upwards, and basically as soon as you see this Ashe go up and you've helped your Moira, because you did a full like GA there, you didn't obviously do like a slingshot or anything that time, so you can literally just GA up and then come up here and then come and help. What's gonna happen is he will slam. Your Moira will not survive that slam whatsoever. No matter like what healing you're going to do, that's not gonna like help her survive. So you essentially have to at this point just commit with your Ashe like this. Maybe help your Sigma like this. If the Ryan ends up dying, you can then go in and go and res the Moira. But it doesn't really matter too much. You can just basically just push in still here and kind of help like your Ashe and wherever your Pharah is. Yeah, oh no, that's Honor. I was like, where is your Pharah right now? Oh, she's down with you guys now. So you could definitely, what's it called? You could definitely just basically just sit here and just help damage boost this out. Get rid of him. Go for a res. And then you either continue on pressuring with your Ashe, or if your Pharah starts being aggressive, then you want to go in with your Pharah. But we'll keep going. So we're just waiting for you to respawn. This is going to be a team fight loss, because obviously we've lost both supports. Trying to rotate back around. If you can get him out, that'd be great. Yeah, really, really nice. Just while you're here, just really be careful of your back. Really nice pressure that you're holding though. Really, really lovely, what's it called, damage boost. Ooh, okay. Do you see what I mean by like checking your back though? Because it's all well, because I know obviously I was saying to you this entire time, use this side. The issue with using this side is you still need to be really, really careful of this like angle here. If someone's not coming, you just stick your like kind of beam on, and you could just kind of like GA like around here instead to get yourself outwards. What ends up happening is essentially you kind of like panic, like, oh my god, there's some Moira behind me. All you need to do here, slingshot and get out. You will not be able to res this Moira at all. Like she's gone. She's like gone for it. But you can get yourself back out and try and like keep your Sigma up like this. Okay? So your team's out of supports again. They end up fluxing. So they're still applying the pressure, and it's actually a closer fight now. We need that slingshot to get out. I would have not bounced here. I feel as though this Valk is too soon. I would have saved this for last fight. Okay, let's quickly rewind you. I'm gonna tell you why, right? You're coming into this fight knowing that your Sigma has used this flux, and if you keep looking at the kill feed, he kills someone with it, and he ends up killing someone else. There, you are now a 3v3, and you are up with people because obviously yours are coming back. You can essentially just help like heal people up and just damage these like little bits basically, as your team is basically going in. And then you basically just don't need to like Valk here. You can actually save it. Because what would happen is you would just GA again and get into all these guys and stuff. And then you would essentially just follow up with your Pharah onto this damage and help get rid of this this soldier here. You could then basically save your Valk, because what's going to happen is your payload, like you'll eliminate all these people. Your payload will then kind of push round to probably about like here-ish, and then this is going to become like last fight scenario for you guys. So then when people start pushing in like a little bit more, that's the point where I'd Valk at this point. Okay? Lovely push on the damage boost though, a really nice follow-up on the Pharah. Really, really nice. Oh, go on, go on. Nice. Okay. Okay. There are two things you're doing wrong here, okay? First thing is that you're currently just standing in LOS of the Hanzo that's currently shooting you. The second thing is we currently have our blue beam on someone that's doing nothing. Okay? So, instead, what you want to be doing is once you kind of finish this Valk, Obviously, you kill the boy, which is really, really great. Now you need to try and find your cover, whether it's like over here or using the payload. And then you see this Pharah get slept, okay? Whenever you see someone get slept, you have to basically just think to yourself, what can I do? Nothing. This person is going to do nothing. So you cannot, like, damage boosting is going to do nothing. Healing them is going to do nothing because they won't touch them until they want to wake them up, which is usually a team coordinated thing. So what you want to do is you essentially want to play your cover, stick your beam actually on your Ashe here, because what the Ashe will do is if the Hanzo peeks in front of the Ryan shield, then she can shoot him. But obviously if not, she could just sit and just spam out the Ryan shield, because if you're able to spam out the Ryan shield before the fight even begins, it gives the enemy team a massive disadvantage for this last fight. So you essentially just want to kind of sit around here, damage boost his Ashe. And then once your Pharah gets back up, then obviously then you can go and help. It also will help your Ashe build Bob, because your Ashe is like so close to Bob right now. But so she gets up, same thing, we're still stood in that LOS of that Hanzo. It's like you just like don't fear him. But honestly, you should fear him like so much. Res. No, okay. You should have resed this so much sooner. Okay, let's quickly go back because I'm going to show you when you should have resed. Okay, it's really unfortunate that she ends up like hitting like both of these. So we talked about this, obviously standing too much out with the LOS of the Hanzo. Now, you essentially, because you end up messing up your GA here, you essentially just want to GA cancel and res it right around here. Then once it's done, back off, try and find someone to back off to. Like for example, you have your Ashe. Ashe will obviously, normally Ashe will like coach himself up on like one of these high grounds and stuff. You can use her to like back off for a second, wait for your Pharah's, obviously the part which is like immortal kind of thing. Just wait for that to happen, and then if your Pharah obviously starts to going in to people, then you can obviously go damage boost. You doing this so late is the reason why you get picked off here. Because you take so long to res it, Ryan obviously sees that and just pins you straight in. So if you end up losing this team fight, this is kind of on you. Ashes end up getting like quite a few though, like with the Bob, which is quite good. But yeah, you see how your team is just toppling over right now? And it's overtime. And it's all because you weren't basically able to res that Pharah. So, overall, Kinzo, alright? First of all, I cannot fault you on your damage boost, okay? I feel as though like your damage boost and blue beam kind of juggling is really, really good. My only issue with your damage boost and blue beam is the fact that I feel as though there's at certain points where you're kind of like struggling on like who you should blue beam. So if you kind of like correct that a little bit more on like who you should be blue beaming and when, that will definitely help you out a lot more. Your mechanics are good, do not get me wrong, like it feels like you know what you're doing. It's just, I feel as though we need to kind of brush up on it a little bit more. And remember that we can just let the GA like run out, or we can just cancel the GA in order to shorten that cooldown. Instead of just constantly doing like these like fancy slingshots and stuff. Because doing really short slingshots is going to be like it's basically the worst thing you can do. Because it's going to obviously, you know, like lengthen your GA cooldown. It means you're going to be stuck like where you need to be. Wait, have you got the matching spray? Oh, that's really cute. And my biggest thing for you is your positioning, right? It's like, you know how you play? It feels like you play like with no fear. Like it's literally, you just play and you think, come at me people, like come at me enemy team, right? In reality, as Mercy, you should be so scared. Like specifically like Hanzos and stuff like that, you should be so scared of them. Like constantly be like, if you see them, be like, ah, oh my gosh, and then go behind cover. You know, like, you know, oh, what's the Greek mythology lady? It's called like Medusa or something. The one that used to like turn you into stone as soon as like you locked eyes and stuff like that. You literally, that's actually such a good analogy. That's basically how you want to play support. You essentially do not want to see the enemy team. They are all going to like instantly kill you if they see you, alright? So you essentially just want to make your life as good, like basically as best as you can by playing that cover as much as possible, okay? But it's alright. Really nice GA up. Okay, if we're holding this high ground at the beginning, I love your damage boost on this Junkrat for the spam. Same thing, okay? How can we amend our positioning here so this enemy team is gonna not see us? If you want to damage boost the Junkrat at the start, which is great, sit over here. Once you've done that initial Junkrat spam, you then essentially want to kind of get hold of your beam onto your soldier and GA over to this room. The reason is because I really don't like kind of playing on this side, because obviously if people say they have, like, for example, they got Monkey, right? Monkey can just basically come and like jump up onto you and you're very kind of separate from your team, compared to if Monkey jumps up onto you and then in this room you could essentially just block his LOS by just coming over here and then just play. You could still help people by playing off on this angle. It keeps on kind of focusing you, that's fine. You just drop back over to here. Your options are so limited when you play over on that side compared to this one. So it's fine for obviously like the initial Junkrat spam and stuff, you know, like it might get a pick, really nice initiative with that. Just play that cover and then once that's done, come and flick over to your soldier. Okay, but we'll keep going. So obviously damage boost, I'm hoping that you're going to flick over. Lovely heals. You see how much like damage you could be taking right now because you're stood out in the LOS? Lovely damage boost though. Nice. Lovely wait for that res. That was a really good res. Lovely healing as well. Because obviously Amoria's not here. Sticking that damage boost on. Really, really great. This is where you should have been stood before, by the way. But just play a little bit further back. Like, you don't need to be stood on this kind of platform. You could just stand all the way back here and just damage boost from here, basically. Like, you essentially just need to damage boost here. Like, there is no need for you to be so close. Just play back. Alright, keep going. I would damage boost your soldier here as well. A little bit more. Like, I love to see that you damage boost obviously the Junkrat spam and stuff like that. But especially when the Junkrat goes like to reload and stuff, or like when the team is obviously pushing a little bit more now. Now you want that more kind of accurate damage and to be damage boosting that soldier. Love the damage is still up. Remember, you're still playing out in this open bit. If you desperately want to play on this side, play back here. But we'll keep going. Lovely. Love how you just stay up on there. Really, really nice. Soldier gets get picked off. Are we gonna go res that? Where do you die? Here. This is resable. I'm gonna see whether you go and res him or not, because you could definitely res this. Res. We need to res though. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's all well and good. Like, you going to go and like help. Obviously, like kill this this diva and stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you when you should have gone down and resed. All right. Because all these people are healthy. So this diva is not going to kill them instantly. And your Moira is also making a conscious effort to obviously fade up there and go and help them, right? You do not need to be here like damage boosting or like healing people at this point. So, obviously play out cover a little bit more. Okay, he dies now. You can essentially realize this now. What you do is you GA over to his soul. Flick it round the corner like this. And res. And then what's going to happen? Res is going to happen. Hopefully someone like peeks you at this bottom bit. If not, doesn't matter. Just stay in damage boost soldier main up until you either need to help people on this high ground, or you can literally just stay here in damage boost main on this soldier. Because what ends up happening is you're very kind of tunnel vision like onto this high ground and stuff, and we end up like obviously going in killing this diva, when in reality it's better for the next team fights because of how close the spawns are compared to your spawn. It's going to make the start of the next team fight for you guys extremely difficult because you're going to be a person down. When in reality, you can literally just come down here, flick it round, and get that res off. Alright, but we'll keep going. So we end up kind of helping. Same thing again with the Hanzo. We just want to play out of that cover as much as we can. Even use like Angelic Descent like around these corners and stuff. You know, like Angelic Descent like off these like cover bits and stuff like that, and use this to block you LOS. Just use that as well to get as much cover as you can away from that Hanzo, away from that enemy team. Let's get a lovely damage boost. I would rotate now. Lovely heals, obviously. Really, really nice. We end up rotating down. Oh, we end up dying to a headshot because we're still not using that cover, alright? So if you need to rotate down here, which honestly I don't think you really need to, you can literally just stay up on here and just help him here. And then you're still up like with your, what's it called? With your Sigma, because then you're still not in LOS of this Hanzo. If you need to drop, which obviously you end up doing, you need to hug this side, or like just hug anywhere basically. This is very much a bit of like temporary cover, I'd say, up until you can like fly up to like your what's it called, your Sigma or something like that. Because you still like playing here and it's like, oh, the hands are shooting me. Ah, whatever will I do? Bam, headshot. That's exactly what happened there. And that's what would have happened a lot of the other times if you were in a high lobby like with the other times. So you essentially just need to just play that cover a lot more. Be really scared of the enemy team and just be like, you don't want to see them at all whatsoever.
Making a full recovery.
It's fine. We seem to be a bit AFK in spawn. Just make sure like as soon as you respawn, you try and get back into the fight as quickly as you can. Obviously, little sprays as well as when you're coming out. D-Ben's are getting 2. She's getting Moira. Soldier's still there, but I don't think you win this. Nice how you're still making an attempt. Still making an attempt, though. Okay. He just ends up going down. You should still, like, maybe try and get an attempt. Just, obviously, if he wants to try and, like, back out himself, still try and make an attempt, like, to try and get there. But it's fine that you're not. Are your team wanting to go and contest this? Because at the moment, we're still very AFK. Don't know what have happened there. Oh, it looks like our team made a contest and you weren't there. Let's quickly rewind it because obviously I didn't really get to see. So, obviously, so we're just stood at the moment. Obviously, they're capping. Damage to some junk. Still walk forward with your junk here, right? Because I'm going to look at this junk route. Your junk route doesn't end up getting on, which you can't really, like, you know, fault and stuff like that. But you can still basically play on this, like, angle and stuff like that and help him here. Like, you could get a pick really, really nicely over here, and it really helps kind of slow down their push, basically. But you standing AFK still all the way over here is actually, I think, going to let your Junkrat die. But it's so much better if you're pushed up. Same thing with the Hanzo. Can you see? Like, his stuff right there. Back with your hands. Sorry, back with your soldier. Ooh, okay. This room. For the entirety of this fight, you just want to play in this room. Okay? Because basically, what's happened is essentially we've lost out on our Junkrat. Okay, that's fine. We now basically need to kind of just play a little bit far back and just kind of like not really fully engage because obviously they have the numbers, right? Where is your safest point of positioning right now? In this room. You play in this room. Oh no, Div Bomb's coming. Whatever shall I do? Come play around here. Like, literally, just hide and just use your LOS in this room. It then means, I don't know if you res your Sigma here, because I don't know where your Sigma died, I'm going to be honest. Where did your Sigma die? Oh, your Sigma died right next to you. Okay, you can then basically, as soon as that's... Oh, he died here. Okay, as soon as that's done, what you do is you quickly get around here, res your Sigma, and then you can basically start, like, kind of regaining this fight, basically, instead of, obviously... Oh my gosh, how do I get cover, kind of thing. You have this perfectly good cover over here. Just keep your cover, play in here, bam, go around, res, back into the team fight, okay? Because you have your Valk as well, because you could very easily Valk there as well to try and, like, keep up your soldier and stuff. But it's fine. I'm just going to have a bit of my drink as well while I just quickly do this. As my throat started to hurt a little bit, so let me just have a bit of that while you get back in. Same thing with the AFK thing, just try not to be AFK as much as you can, like in a comp match. Because obviously you essentially want to try and get in with your Junkrat here. You could literally be here with your Sigma right now and be in the team fight. But instead we've been AFK for a good like 10-15 seconds right there. Unless it's like a genuine like emergency like, you know, that you've had, or like you haven't to, you know, have like a very important discussion with someone you never ever want like to just be AFK in like a comp game and stuff. Same thing again, you want to be playing your cover. You want to just GA across though to be with your soldier. Okay, we do not need to be with Sigma here. Because, oh your Moira, where's your Moira? What happened to your Moira? Oh, your Moira went into the back line, okay. Essentially, you do not need to be with Sigma here. Like, this is not your responsibility to be with Sigma here. Because he's very, very full HP. You can essentially just kind of slingshot yourself across to be with the soldier, and then just play kind of like over here so you still have your eye on your Sigma. Because right now, I love the peel, do not get me wrong, like your peel for the Sigma is really nice, but you need to be doing this later. You need to be doing this when he's being focused a little bit more. Because right now, what will happen is essentially you can just sit up here and just damage boost your soldier. Soldier might get a pick, and then as he's kind of like shooting down some other people, or say the D.Va gets distracted, you can then go and peel for the Sigma. Because at the moment, you're peeling for him too soon. Which I feel as though will get you picked off, yeah. You essentially just need to go and commit with your soldier there. He has visor too as well, remember. Because look, your Sigma's still alive. Your Sigma is still alive throughout this entire thing. Like, look at him. Like, he's full HP. He did not need you for this entire thing. Instead, you could have actually been with the Spicer and helped him stay up, like, during the Spicer. Just try and commit with him a little bit more. You don't need to worry about your tank dying there. Same thing again with the AFK. Just try and get out as quick as you can. It feels like you're AFKing quite a lot, and honestly, I try and recommend to not do it as much as you can, just purely so you can you can get into that team fight a lot sooner. Same thing again with the what's it called? Ooh, okay. Don't get me wrong, love the res. I was typing it was toxic. I mean, like, it's the D.Va's job though. Like, obviously, if it was in quick play and stuff, like, fair enough, that's quite funny to do and stuff like that. But if we're taking our time to AFK in a match just to type to people, it's a waste of your time, I'm gonna be honest, right? Because it's D.Va's job here to obviously to dive you and stuff like that. Like, it's funny, don't get me wrong, but if you're taking, like, really long to go and, like, type that stuff like that, you know, it's what's it called? It's wasting your time and it's not allowing you to get back into that team fight when it's actually D.Va's job to basically do that, alright? Okay, this res. Let's go back to this res, right? So, what happens? So, I would have basically just GA'd all the way back out to here because you obviously want to block the LOS of the high ground. You see the Junkrat dies, okay? What you could do is you can use someone that's around here to jump up and then you grab the orb and then use this beam to block your LOS as the Hanzo backed off. Because you kind of did it the dangerous way. Because what ended up happening is you basically went in front to res. If you go in front to res, you have a higher chance of being headshot by this Hanzo than if you go behind. Because you go in behind, if you start it here and then as you fall, it will then basically mean towards the end of your res, this beam should be blocking your head. Whereas you going in front, your entire body is fully in like view for this entire res. So whenever you want to res here, essentially just use someone else to go up and do this res. Like how you res though, really, really great. Just needs to do it a little bit safer. We end up going with the Moira. Really nice damage on her here. Same thing again, just trying not to stay out of the cover. Let her fade out. Really nice. Love this. Really nice damage boost as well on the soldier. Obviously realize D.Va's behind you. End up going in with the Moira, which is fine. I would have... Okay, bit toxic going in for the teabag. My other thing is I would have done that second GA in to go and teabag. I know obviously it's funny and everything, but we don't need to. Like, it's once again, it's just putting ourselves out into more danger than we need to. Same thing again, use our cover. You can use this room so nicely here. Just stand here, like this. And play like this. Because if the Sigma shield goes down, which it's going to in a second, you, once again, are very vulnerable to like this Hanzo and everyone. So literally just play like this. Okay? Leave your Moira, she can just do whatever. You need to be real soldier. Nice damage from the Moira, but we've let our soldier die because we're doing this. If your Moira is doing like this weird like flanking Moira kind of playstyle, you essentially just have to leave her to do her job. Like, just leave her to do it. Because if you then go to commit with this flank style, your team has lost their healing, all of the healing, because you're too busy going to go and do this flank, right? What should happen? I'm just going to quickly rewind it back so we can just quickly go and watch what should have happened. So, I would have fallen back a lot sooner. Obviously, we talked about playing the cover, so I won't like, you know, reiterate myself. So, we see the Moira's faded. Literally ignore her. That's Moira out of this entire comp is your least likely person to damage boost, unless if she's like, what's it called? She's my duo. Yeah, but like, this is a full like duo syndrome thing. I see it a lot with like, it happens a lot more in like higher lobbies and stuff with like Mercy's queuing with DPSs and stuff, where I constantly have to like tell people like your DPS isn't your main priority. Obviously, this is happening with your support. Let her flank. Let her do her DPS-y thing, you know? Let her do her thing. Your job at that point is to allow her to take that flank and really pressure people out, and you play main and support your team. Okay? So what would happen is you essentially now need to rotate. You play like in these rooms or something to help your soldier who will be attacked by this hands-on soldier in a second, and you just want to play this cover, right? I'm going to play actually in the 3D view for a sec because I want to, what's it called? I want to see what happens to your soldier. So I would literally just keep on playing main. You could flick forward again and play like around kind of this cover instead at this point. Help keep it shooting main because look at him. Okay, what's happened is your Sigma has also kind of realized you're doing this and you completely abandoned your soldier. If you were here to kind of heal beam on your soldier, it would then realize your Sigma like, oh, we're still fighting main and stuff like that, right? So I feel like people in lower ranks do need like a little bit more like guidance and stuff. So if you already like know like where you should be, what you should be doing already ahead of time, you essentially just need to kind of like play this cover, play around here, jiggle peek it like this, and help your soldier, because your soldier ends up dying because you're too busy doing this flank. Okay, but we keep going. And I'll want to see what you end up doing with this foul. Sorry, this flank even. You end up getting him. Another teabag as well, which is great. Do not get me wrong. Same thing with the GA. We want to GA out into cover. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, let's rewatch this entire thing. So, we end up committing. That's fine. We made our decision. We've done that. Awesome. Teabag. Great. This GA, first of all, I think is where everything starts to go wrong. Okay. If you want to GA here, you need to GA to your Sigma and then kind of GA out into this kind of cover here. Or you just essentially just kind of play crouched and just keep your beam kind of on your Sigma like this. Because you're playing against a D.Va, your D.Va will want to kind of use her boosters to come up and get you, which is what ends up happening. You can try and like basically outplay her slightly by allowing her to use her boosters first before you use your GA. So essentially, you're like basically kind of baiting out the boosters. It's the same thing with like Winston and stuff, because you want to kind of bait out their jump and then you just GA to like straight away from them and stuff. It takes like a little bit of like a while like to get used to and stuff, but it really helps if you're already in such like a really good cover already. Alright? So I would literally just kind of play here. You end up kind of flying out and like slingshot yourself like out into this open bit, and then you start panicking like, oh my gosh, like what should I do? I'm gonna quickly go back onto you so I can like see what you end up doing. So end up panicking like, oh my gosh, what should I do? You want to just play as far away from your D.Va as you can right now. Leave your Moira to do whatever she wants on the high ground. You literally just need to GA over to here. Because then it forces the D.Va to, if she wants to dive you, she forces the D.Va to come at you like this. And her boosters will not make it to you. Her boosters will probably make it to probably about here-ish. But what's going to happen, your Sigma will realize the D.Va's attacking my Mercy. He will turn around and he will like rock her and he will like start pressuring her. With your blue beam, it can really help like, you know, get her down, and then she'll obviously have to use her boosters again to retreat back to her team to get that healing, which then allows your Sigma to re-rotate back around, your DPS will be back, and then you could take another like team fight basically here. By you GAing up here, it's basically gives your D.Va a free kill. Because all she does, especially because she has this... Oh, sorry, I thought it was Kitsune. It's not. It's a leaf in a box. It looks like the Kitsune brush. It's not a Kitsune brush. Don't ignore me. But, obviously, same thing still applies. Essentially, she's going to obviously be stood up here. D.Va's going to come up and dive you very easily because your GA is now on the cooldown. So you just want to basically just play it as far back and away and as much cover as you can away from that D.Va. So I'm just going to fast forward it again. Because you do end up getting dove. Well, we end up flinging ourselves into like the enemy like backline and stuff. If we do end up getting dove like that, we essentially just want to kind of drop. So what's that? So you're up here, you end up getting dove, that's fine. Drop and play cover. Like just hug these walls and stuff. Up until you get your GA, in which case you can kind of like GA across and come back to your soldier. Play passive for a sec, allow your helps to like regen and stuff, and then you can go and push in now. Because what's going to happen with this team fight now is going to be a 4v5 because you've gone in and gone fed. So literally it's going to make, once again, your team's life like 10 times harder at this point. But I'll keep playing it, see what happens to your team. I'm just going to grab some of my water for a sec, you guys. So, go back in, tell people we have the Valk, awesome. Don't think you're going to win this, I'm going to be honest, because it's only you and Junkrat. You just leave. Yep, go to your soldier. Really nice. You do not need to peek here. You do not need to peek though, you can literally just like stand in the cover. Like how you're doing now. Oh, okay. Let's rewind this, because I was just putting down my water bottle. Alright, so. We know if Big Hog gets Junkrat, this is great, and we go backwards. Awesome. With this peek in here, you want to literally just stay here. There is no need for you to kind of go out and peek. That's Soldier's job. Soldier's job is to go out and peek and do the damage. You can stay really nice and, you know, stand there all nice and pretty. Just like in this kind of safety of your, what's called, your like, kind of like spawn area basically. You could just stand here. It would be better obviously if you do kind of like stand like here-ish, because obviously if people start pushing you main, they can't get to you. So you could just stand here. Okay? So we do that. Awesome. Now we end up pushing main. That's fine. We do not Valk here though, because you end up Valking. What, like, there is no need for you to Valk here. And the reasoning is because you're using your Valk not for positioning, and also you're doing it just to keep on blue beaming your soldier, which is just going to waste the value of your Valk. You can do the only reason why you might want to use Valk here is to maybe go and stall out the point. But in all honesty, I feel as though like you just need to wait for your team to regroup, especially with that Junkrat being staggered and stuff, and they're going to have like visor and stuff like that. So you can literally just kind of play here, damage boost your soldier. If it does end up that he ends up going into go and contest and your team are coming back, then you can go in with the Valk. I'll try and like tell you like when you could Valk if you desperately wanted to, alright? So we end up Valking. Once again, you could just stand over here. If he goes over there, that's not your fault, because obviously he's gone and crossed a visor. You essentially just would peel back round, or just like wait for your team. Then you end up flying across it, and you end up obviously like helping him and stuff, which is great, don't get me wrong. But then we don't end up touching the point. You've essentially just wasted your Valk here, because we've used it just to keep our soldier alive, for no reason. You could literally just allow him just to cross and like die, because that's, you know, that's not your fault, and you're keeping your cover away. So you end up being shot by the Hanzo, really nice rotation round that you realise that. You're not going to save your Moira there. You need to get out. Kind of your Moira's fault there for being so far in. Nice res. Oh, winner gets slapped. That's an unfortunate sleep. You did the right thing though, going up to go and damage your Reaper though, which is really, really great. Head back. Nice. But it would be so much better if you had your Valk right now. Alright, same thing with the cover again. As soon as the Sigma shield's gone, bam, you'll get shot in the head by a Hanzo again. Play back here. You can still do the exact same job as what you're doing now over here. Just jiggle peek this corner. Also end up kind of crossing over here. Just be careful of people pushing on that left side. Nice damage to some blocks. I love how you left your Moira there as well. Really great. Can't do anything about that though. But you just realise that he's there. Really nice. Damage boost him. Really lovely flick on damage boost, even though that he's not full HP. Nice res. Really great. That fight was really well played out by you. Like leaving your Moira by herself, that's fine. If she ends up dying there, you end up obviously damage boosting the flux and everything, which is obviously the greater thing of the fight. You then go and damage boost the Reaper while he's still half HP. Perfect, because if people don't know as well, Reaper, when he's damage boosted, gets more health back from like his passive like health regen while he's like shooting people and stuff. So actually a lot of the time, Reapers, unless they're like extremely critical, you can just actually get away with just damage boosting them, which is exactly what you did, and then peeled around for the res. Beautiful. Really, like, probably like one of your best well played fights. But same thing again, when that's covered, just use it. End up going help in to go and help, which is fine. You just want to play main here. Lovely. Same thing again though, you want to be playing obviously background. Okay, what are we gonna do here? Really nice cover. It would have been better though if you would just play main and just play back. So, ooh, I'm gonna get the block out a little bit. You can Valk here. I would have Valked a little bit sooner. As soon as like, so let's just go it back. Because if this all kind of like goes wrong, like when you end up getting this pistol off, right? So, help your soldier. We've ended up back in for the bomb. This is really, really nice cover usage from you. Really nice. We back around. We know it's okay. If you're Moira facing like that, let her do your thing. You ain't going to be able to go and help her. But the way that you can actually help a sister here is by damage boosting someone else. Whether this be your Reaper, whether this be like your soldier or something. Damage boost someone else. Okay, same thing again with the damage boost here. I would literally Valk as soon as you know these guys are going to start pushing in. So even like you don't even need to do this flick like rotation up. You literally, as soon as you know they're going to start pushing in, Valk, and then you can just basically play like behind this kind of like mesh weird cagey looking thing, and you can literally just jiggle like around this corner thing. It will hopefully keep your Reaper up, and it'll allow you to really keep on that damage, like that pressure basically, because obviously it's only you alive. People are quite weak, and you know they're going to be quite weak, so obviously your Moira went in and like started like doing whatever she was doing. So we ended up like Valkin. okay. This is not a res opportunity. Because what we've already seen is that our team basically need more help there because you don't have the Moira. You basically tunnel vision onto that res is gonna do nothing. Oh, and you've staggered really bad. Okay, let's rewind this. Okay, so we end up basically. So what should have happened is you still just should have like kept like playing main basically. If people die, and you just fly out. Okay, you resing like Reaper here is actually staggering both yourself and your Reaper. What ends up happening is obviously you stay and try let's damage boost him, which is great. Okay, now you try and get away. Okay, really, really nice. You get away with your Moira. You hear that ultimate. That ultimate, you now basically want to play as split as possible because then it gives the Junkrat two options. He either has to go for you or he has to go for the Moira. Now, Moira has obviously got Fade and like Coalesce and stuff like that, so it's most likely going to go for you. Does this matter too much? Not really, because it's a best case scenario. Or obviously, if they end up destroying the tile, that is actually best case scenario. But like, because your team is still respawning, and they're not going to be here to help you destroy that tire, it's then going to be best case scenario. So what do? Drop your beam, and just come and hide in like here, or something. Okay? Probably best case scenario is probably you like literally just dropping your beam and just hiding here. Allow your Moira to just go and do whatever. If they get the Moira, okay, that's great. You can then essentially just GA back up to your team that should be back here. If they end up getting you, doesn't really matter. Your Moira has ult, okay? So we keep going, and then basically what we end up doing is we end up kind of giving our position away. Actually just GAing like straight into them, which is just telling them, hey, look, we're here as supports, and then you end up dying. And look how much of a stagger you guys are making now. This is making, basically, if your team like start pushing forward a little bit without you guys, this is going to be like GG's lost. Like your team had to play basically so passively here and try not to get picked off by like a nano boosted diva that might just like quickly just dive into them, or like a Hanzo dragon or something. You're basically putting your team in a very big disadvantage here where you don't really need to. But so we'll keep going. Obviously head into overtime. See exactly what I mean with like your soldier ends up dying now because of that. You know dragons are going to come to point. Really nice, obviously, knowledge of that. Ooh, okay. If we want to enter this team fight, you have to think to yourself, okay, you sim where the dragons have gone, and we end up flinging ourselves above it. That's great. Then use that movement and just GA yourself like up onto this high ground or something, and just kind of crouch on here, if you want to, or like and play around here. Your other option is to GA back into like your spawn kind of area and like play over here, because you essentially just kind of like hanging around here like with your Reaper is the thing that gets you killed, because obviously this Hanzo is still behind you. War ends up passing away. Reaper gets a good ult, which is really good. Still very winnable. I would switch to a Lucio now at this point, or like a Kiriko. Yeah, really, really nice switch. I ended up winning it, which is actually really great. It's a very lucky scenario though for you, because both supports end up getting picked off. It would have been so much better if you managed to survive. Okay, so Kinzo, let's start with the positives, right? Your damage boost usage is really, really great, okay? I cannot fault you on it. My only issue with your damage boost usage is I feel as though you're damage boosting at certain points the wrong person, okay? But I feel as though, like, that, I don't know whether you're very nervous about like, playing with Pharahs and stuff, because this kind of relates more, like, to your attack more than anything, because you seemed very kind of cautious, like, wanting to follow the Pharah, and I think it's because you don't have that practice with playing with Pharahs, right? So I think if you ever see a Pharah up in your next games, just be sure to kind of like use those cancel GAs, or like your GAs like fully like plan out and stuff like that, and use your cover. And I think genuinely give it a shot to try and help damage with those Pharahs, okay? Reses, some were really good, some weren't so good. Obviously we discussed them and stuff like that, so I'm not going to go into full depth about that, because I feel as though it's kind of like base by base scenario with that. I think your biggest issue is your positioning, because although some of your movements are quite good, obviously I will brush up on that a tiny bit more, your biggest issue is your positioning, because I feel as though you just don't care where the enemy team are. You just walk out and be like, come on, come at me, like, come and shoot me, right? Instead, you should literally just try and play that cover as much as you can and be as scared as much as you can. Use those GAs to cross that section of cover instead of just like randomly choosing them. Like, use your GAs to basically get yourself from one place of cover to another to play as safe as you can. But honestly, apart from that, Kinzo, it was a really good VOD. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing any more from you as well if you ever want to give me some more. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone on YouTube as well as on Twitch who basically been watching this. Once again, you can get your VOD review. They offer 5,000 channel points. I do them on my Twitch. I do the VODs on Mondays, but I also stream on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays where you guys can obviously like build up the channel points and stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye.